When last we left off, the party had jumped through Gate and appeared in a new location that looks strangely familiar to KTR especially.
Well, as I'm looking about, what part of the town does it look like I'm in?
Based on what you're seeing in the immediate area, you're in kind of a park location near the. You believe you're inside the walls of Old Town in the Empire of the Sun.
And just for the record, that's where my Bard College was?
Yes.
I just want to confirm, because Ysmyr's from Empire of the Sun, she wouldn't know much about this area, right?
No, I was thinking about that, and I think Ysmyr would have been more familiar with the melee market and the south side of town.
Okay.
And that kind of area, if she was starting out as like training to be a guard or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe wandered up a little bit to the magic market area, dealing with warlocky type things. I'm not sure. Although I think you met your patron when you were up in the north, correct?
Yes. So it wouldn't have been Warlocky.
Right.
Okay. No, I just wanted to confirm where I would know. So
Sure.
Okay, and is from everything that we've been told, though, like everything has been overtaken except areas of the north. Like this should be swarming like with undead and stuff, or am I making an assumption?
Well, to go back to the last thing that you heard about the South, I believe it was when Prince Bartemius came north looking for allies to bring back to the Empire of the Sun because they were under siege by the undead.
Right, but he coming back up from the south, and we were trying to warn him.
He was heading south by ship. Him and the orc tribes.
And Ysmyr did a scry and was able to see him back at the city, watching the walls be swarmed.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you saw. I don't remember exactly, but yes, you saw him staring out over a field of undead.
Well, do you think we can make an assumption we're in our own time, or did the gate play games with us and send us back in time or send us forward in time?
The only information that you have.
Oh no, that was in character talking to the group.
Oh, okay.
Well, what would be the quickest and sneakiest path to the Bard College?
There's not really a sneaky route there. You could, if you headed east, you'd be going across the main road into this area. If you head west and hug the wall, you'd be a fair distance away from any of the noble housing. But the college and like the art center are kind of they're not like off to the side somewhere. They're fairly well traveled areas.
All right. Well, if you guys recall that I said that I left under a little bit of a cloud since I had killed a noble's son, and I don't know if that, depending on what time or what's going on, I might get attacked for no reason. Well, for a very good reason, but you know.
Oh, so when you say you're home, you're really home. Like we're south now.
It looks like, well, if we want to make certain 100%, I mean, I point in the direction that I know the college is at. We can go that way and see if the college is there. Is everyone agreeable?
Oh, it's a good idea. I'm a little thrown for a loop right now.
You're the only one with a head on your shoulders as to where we are, Katiera. I think it's probably wisest to follow you right now.
Well, okay. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Oh, did I forget to put walls up on this map? Yeah, I sure did.
You need a quick break?
No, it's fine. You can wander kind of in a southeasterly direction. So the first thing that you guys notice as you're wandering, um, you do see a lot of people in this area, uh, well dressed, and they're eyeing you strangely. And you notice that you're feeling quite hot in your heavy winter gear.
I will say Ysmyr is probably one of the first ones to shed stuff. She does not like heat.
Faster than Tempus, you think?
Not as far as Tempus. We'll put it that way.
That's on brand. Do I see a public house or an inn of some kind?
No, not in the area that you're in right now. You do know that there's one by the south gate in this area.
All right. K-Tierra takes off his heavy garb and like does the old student trick of using the arms to tie around his waist and having it just kind of hang down.
Okay. So as you continue southeast, you come to the market of Old Town. You're hearing a lot of chatter and noise of the busy marketplace as merchants are hawking their wares to not a lot of noble people out here, but some, and people come from other parts of town as well when they're looking for high quality goods.
Is there anybody offering personal services within sight? A barber or like anybody that's offering like some sort of spa or cleaning services?
Not in the main market area itself. No, these are generally people selling wares, not services. Um, if you do voice a desire to get cleaned up, Keacher, where to send you.
Tempest is staying quiet for now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to use my ability to overhear, eavesdrop, if you will, on whether or not I'm hearing any talk about the city under siege, gossip about, oh, what's the undead going to do next type stuff.
Okay. You can give me a perception check.
I certainly can. Pretty good.
Yeah. So as you're walking through the market, you're listening into conversations. For the most part, you're just hearing people talking about their interactions with the merchants. But there are sometimes just groups of people who know each other chatting away. You're hearing rumors about the royal families, rumors about people outside of Old Town struggling in recent days, how they don't have a lot of ships coming into port in the north. And you do hear, as you move through the market more towards the south, and you're seeing more what you would term common folk. They are definitely talking openly about wanting better weapons and armor to face any invasions that may come across the river into the city.
Is this the college?
No, that's the Temple of Palor.
Okay.
The college is east of your position and a little bit north now.
Well, we're going. Ysmyr's, I think, because Katira asked about time ahead, right?
Yeah.
Ysmyr's going to be listening, seeing if anyone says if there's anything that has a date or someone spills it, so that we can get a sense of how long we were in the Feywild. Because she's just assuming that with all the time shenanigans, we were there longer than we thought. It might look fine here,
Okay.
but she doesn't trust that.
Okay. You can give me a perception check as well.
I guess I would also like to throw my lot into that. If I would also be able to do a perception check to see when we are.
Sure. Yeah, Rhodes, your keen hearing as you're making your way through the busy marketplace picks up a tidbit that they say that Prince Bartemius has been gone so long already. couple of months, and they're losing hope that he's going to have found any allies to help reinforce the city.
I'll step ahead to match pace with Katira so I can relay this to him in a lowered voice so the I guess bystanders don't realize what we're talking about, but we can sort of start parsing things out between ourselves.
Okay.
Is there a gate for us to get past through the walls here?
Yeah. Did you leave the college? I thought you were heading to the college. The last I saw the group token, it was there.
University of the Sun in that?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So Rhodes, you tell Katiara that information.
So it looks like we're a little bit behind ourselves, as it were.
How far behind ourselves?
Well, Ysmyr saw a scry that had him on the walls, and yet you say that they're saying it's been like 6 months since he left. So, like, how long did he say it took him to get up there? Because I know from very brutal experience, it's a long slog up to Nordgard from here.
Yeah, it's a big one.
So, you think maybe it's like half a year difference? Or am I just tossing darts at the target?
I think when I made my way, it was 4-ish months, something like that. But we don't know exactly when the prince left here. It could only be a few days difference before he meets us and leaves with the orcs. Oh, this makes things so weird.
Aye.
So we know what's going to... Ugh. Ysmyr's just rubbing her temples, wrapping her head around this.
Well, we know what's going to happen up in the north, but we don't really know what the hell's happened down here, other than the prince will make it back.
We know undead are attacking. We know, thanks to the journals and everything we've learned, that there is the Lich Lucius storming through. We know, if this is before anything, this is before we even remove the Daystar and let Glithor free. Like, so many things.
It'd be nice. Oh, sorry,
Sorry,
go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
Well, it'd be nice if we could have find some way to tell ourselves not to be such daft ninnies, but then that'd probably bugger things even worse, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
As I'm starting to...
I just have to comment that it's really unfortunate that Jody isn't here right now, because she would be absolutely tormented by the fact that you guys are having a time travel discussion. And like Faywin, who's a time wizard, isn't here to enjoy it.
Yeah. As we're discussing and we're getting close to the college, I'm looking around because like colleges would have stuff posted about dates and times and calendars showing classes or like semester changes and all that. Is there anything that I see that gives me a better idea about exactly when we are?
Give me an investigation check.
Yikes.
Yeah, this college isn't for the city. It's large, but it's not densely populated like a modern university. Like classes have like a handful of students, so they don't really need public postings for like hundreds of people coming to a big theater type lecture hall. So you're not seeing anything posted publicly with dates on it.
Okay. Is there anything like newspapers in this place and time, or is it just criers?
There are there's certainly printed papers. If you went to the library just to the southeast of where you are, they would have copies of the day's paper for sure.
From me looking around, do I recognize anybody? Am I seeing anybody look at me and kind of going, "Ooh, that's him"?
Give me an insight check. No, you're completely oblivious to the goings on of other people around you.
Okay. Well, it's definitely the college. We're definitely in the Empire of the Sun. Ysmyr, you were from around this area, weren't you?
Well, lived here a while, but I was more down south with the army. I was training and all of that. Not so much on this end.
Hmm. I use my memory and try and recall the closest loud and boisterous pub.
Okay.
We should probably also consider finding somewhere to take a break and maybe find some clothing and wear that is not so conspicuous.
Instead of a pub, make that an inn.
Okay. You want a loud, boisterous inn?
No, if we're going to use it as a base of operations, I'd prefer just a calm, everyday, not high class, but middle class type thing.
Okay. Then you are looking for the Northgate Inn, which is at that northern wall that you were at earlier. There's a gateway through there, and the Northgate Inn is directly to the east as you come out of there.
Right.
Yeah, I see someone pinging it there.
All right.
This,
And
this is kind of a general inn. A lot of merchants and their crews on ships use this inn. You remember it being not super rough, but definitely the type of noise levels that you're looking for.
well, here we are. And I open the door and I gesture after you all.
So as you enter the inn, you note that the atmosphere has changed quite a bit since the last time you were here, Kaitiara. Um, there aren't a lot of people staying here at this time. There's like a few people at tables having drinks quietly. Uh, they kind of look up at all of you suspiciously uh, while continuing on with their drinks, and a hush falls across the room as you enter.
Do I recognize the bartend or the barkeep?
Yes.
Tempus is going to put a hand on Katiara's shoulder, and he's going to doff his cloak hood. And for the first time, you all might sort of note some of the changes that have taken upon Tempus. He looks much, much older than when you went into the Feywild. His eyes have heavy bags under them. His face is kind of lined. His eyes have crow's feet around them, and his long braid that he used to have behind him at some point was pulled out, and his hair is hanging down in messy dreads, all very just sort of greasy and unkempt looking. And you might notice that there's some shocks of gray in his hair. He's got a long, whiskery beard that's coming down from his chin, and when he speaks, you might note that for the first time, it kind of sounds like he's talking, and his tusks actually fit inside his mouth. And he's going to say to Katiara, "Hold back a little bit. Let me handle this." And he's going to walk over to the barkeep.
All right.
Here just cocks an eyebrow and waits to see what happens.
Sounds sus, also observing.
Um,
Boy.
the bartender does a double take as he looks up at you, Tempest, and then goes back to wiping the bar, and then looks at you again. This time a little longer and suspiciously.
I'm going to just sort of glare a little bit back across the bar at him and say, "Is there a problem here?"
Don't remember ever seeing your kind in here before.
Well, whether you have or not, and I'm going to drop a gold coin on the bar. My money isn't pink or green, it's gold. Is that good enough?
Yeah, good enough for me.
4
But
rooms, enough food to kill us, and a hot bath for everyone that wants it. We'll want the rooms for 5 days. How much?
give me 50 gold and I'll cover all that.
And Tempest will pay out 50 gold.
Much obliged. And he turns and gets you keys and hands them over.
And yeah, I'll go. I will turn around and I'll toss him 10 silver and just say, have the food brought up to our rooms, and we're going to, I'm going to turn back to the party and just say, all right, I'd like everybody to come meet me in my room after I've had a chance to freshen up. Do what you like. And then I'm going to distribute the keys and disappear.
Before you you disappear, the bartender says softly, just loud enough for you to hear it, says, "If you pull any of that crap that them orcs down in Fallsguard pull, you'll be wishing you didn't come here.
I'll just give him a look and say, which orcs are those?
Gorgoth orcs."
Do I know anything about them?
No, this is the front. Well, I mean, you can give. Okay, you can give me a history check. No, you don't know anything about orcs in the Southlands.
Yeah. I'll shrug and say, never heard of them. I'll be good if you are. And yeah, tipping him 10 silver to provide us with room service, distributing the keys, and I am going to my room.
Okay.
Well, I feel the need to wash myself off of all the grit and glitter of the place we left. So I'm gonna freshen up too, and I'll see you guys again at Tempus's room, and off I go.
How many keys did you get?
4. I got 4.
that.
Exactly 4. And you want to know how Tempest distributed them? He kept 1, and he gave 1 to Tiara, and he gave 1 to Yaereene, and then he gave 1 to Rhodes.
Rhodes is gonna awkwardly look at the key, hand it over to Ysmyr, and just be like, I'll go see if Tempus or Tiara is okay with sharing.
Up to you. If you want your hair fixed, though, let me know.
I would probably rather trust your hands over theirs for that one.
Okay. Well, you're welcome.
You know,
Anytime.
You know what? I'll go knock on Tiara's door, and Rhodes is gonna very awkwardly, which is uncharacteristic for him, awkwardly turn and follow after Tiara.
And
Okay.
Ysmyr's following to go to her room. So.
All right. So you all head up to your rooms and start to clean up. Which you're going with Tiara, Rhodes?
Yeah, he'll go give a knock on Tiara's door to see if he is feeling hospitable.
Tiara, you hear a knock at your door shortly after you get into the room.
I say through the door, "What do you want? Why aren't you in your room with Ysmyr?"
Nobody told me I was sharing a room with Ysmyr.
You got her pregnant, man. You should share a room at least.
I mean, yes, but we're not.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
I like. Look,
You like her, don't you? You twit.
do you mind just sharing for a bit? I don't want to rush anything on her. Like this is a lot.
I open the door, and I've like dressed down, and I've basically got a towel around me, and I'm looking longingly at the hot tub. Now, I'm gonna nip in and clean myself up a bit. If you want to duty yourself somewhere. Now, is the bath like in most of these old style places in the room, or is there like a screen or something?
There's actually a small separate bathroom. The tubs are perfectly clean, and the water's steaming.
All right, I'm gonna skimp on it and leave half the bucket for him.
There's no buckets.
Oh, it's just in the tub already.
Yeah.
Is there normal plumbing?
No, you don't see any plumbing.
Okay, so they've drawn the water and put it in. All right. Well, you realize you're gonna have to use my dirty water, whereas you could have had a more entertaining bath, but that's on you. All right.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll make do. As long as I can just get a change of clothes, I'll even go for a walk while you're cleaning up.
That's all right. We've camped and we've had to do showers and shit and watch each other's back. I'm not shy about you. I'm not worried about you. Now you hear a splash as he gets into the water.
I actually just retconjurate. I kind of imagine that the two of you are having this discussion outside the bathroom, at which point, after you've come to this conclusion. Then all of a sudden the door swings open and old man Tempus is standing in the door and he says, "Quit being a bunch of girls and get in here."
What? It's a communal bath?
Nope.
Oh.
You hear another knock at the door.
Okay, I go to the door and I'm like, "Hello? Who is it?"
It's Eldon.
Oh, the food?
Mm.
All right. Yeah, you caught me just on the way into the bath, so you'll excuse the towel, I hope. And I open
Are
up
you
the door.
talking to him? Okay.
And then I
As
open
you
the door.
as you open the door, a hand shoots in and grabs you and pulls you out of the room.
What?
And you are face to face with Eldon, the bartender from downstairs, and he says, "Why did you come back here, Katiara?"
Believe me, there's such a weird story around this. It'd be impossible to believe. It's not me choice, and I want to get the hell out of here. But I need to get some stuff settled, and then me and my friends are hightailing it.
Well, you best hightail it quick. Fennel saw you downstairs, and as soon as you headed up, he ran off. I have no doubt he went off to go tell Duke Weston that you're here.
Bloody. Thank you, Eldon. I appreciate you. You didn't have to do this, but you're a good friend.
Yeah, well, just make sure I don't wind up paying for being a good friend. And he heads back downstairs.
All right. I come back in, and it's like, well, it appears that the Duke, who is the father of the shit stain that I killed, is about to be informed that I'm in town. So we might want to get cleaned up right quick and start thinking about what the devil we're gonna do.
Are you saying that to us and the men in the
Yep.
bath?
Yep, I'm there.
So Tempest is soaking in a tub, and he's just going to look over at you and say, "No,
Know what?
no, we're not running anymore."
You do realize it's a Duke with way too much money, and there's way too many frickin' people who'd gladly, for a gold piece, try to cut me throat.
I think that I am finished with running. I know too many things. We are not going to be pushed further along anymore. If you feel the need to evade this Duke, then come up with a plan. You have magics. Maybe you can even disguise your appearance and we can just play dumb. But I am not running from some hayseed wannabe lord who thinks he's all that.
Well, I doff my towel, I get in, I take a very abbreviated wash, and then I go back to my backpack, and you guys finally see, I think I still have it. Yep, I still have my disguise kit. And I start working on trying to create a older appearing elf, scar on the one cheek.
Oh no, is this the deep lore moment in which we find out what KTR's actual hair color is?
I mean, our dad's hair is blue, so
I dyed my hair. Let's make this a communal vote. What color do you think my hair is?
Platinum blonde.
Seconded.
I'll take that. Be the direct opposite of your siblings here.
Yeah, and that would explain why the dye job works so well, because it doesn't have to really battle its way to assert itself over the platinum blonde. Okay, so all of a sudden you're starting to see an older. Yeah, kind of. Except the beard and the mustache isn't there. Yeah, he put a gif up of a guy flouncing a big, beautiful platinum blonde look. Okay, so I've done that, and I dress myself back up using a different set of clothes, weather appropriate, and I make sure I'm wearing my long sword of wounding, and I head downstairs, and I let them know that I'm heading downstairs, and I let them see my face so that they can recognize me.
Who do you let know that you're going downstairs?
I go back into the bathroom and I tell both you and Rhodes.
Tempest is just going to shake his head and say, "No, come to my room.
All right. So I wait for him to finish, and then I'll go.
We're not that far behind you if you're making up a disguise.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to lie, this is a little bit awkward with Jody not being here because, her reactions to this are probably what's going to drive a lot of this going forward. But when we all convene in Tempus's room, Tempus is just going to give you a bit of a look, and he's just going to sigh, and he's going to say, I'm a little bit ashamed of myself. I have some things that I want to confess, and if this isn't easy for me to say. And he's going to tell you all that he was waylaid in the Feywild by the fight with the Fey spiders, that for a period of time, as you can likely tell by looking at him, that he's lost a portion of his life. And for that time that he lost, some things happened, and he did some things that he's not terribly proud of. And he's going to look at the group for a little bit, and he's going to sigh and say, who knows anything about the elder elementals of this world? Who knows about the Stormlord's elementals? And he'll wait to see if any of you guys can pitch in any details.
Is that anything any of us can make checks for, Ryan?
No, if you've learned about it, you've learned about it through the adventures.
I don't think they ever came up in the adventures.
No. There's nothing I recall, but then we all know I'm a civ.
Well, then what he is going to reveal is that every single world seeded by the Stormlord, wherever the Stormlord created life, it began with 4 titans: earth, air, water, and fire. This is a universal truth that runs through all of the worlds, where the flaws inherent in the elemental titans caused some sort of evolution in the beings that they created. So you'd get like dragons created by the Titan of Air, where they were warped and twisted by the others, creating the metallic and colored dragons. Many worlds have demons, dwarves, merfolk, because they were created by, the creatures of fire, earth, and water. And wherever they went, there was change, but that was the foundation. But if there's any beings alive that can point us to where the Stormlord is hiding, it will be the first of its children, the Titans of our world. They're notoriously difficult to find, as they inevitably get to a point where they seek quiet solitude from all of their creations. But each world has 4, each living in an inhospitable place akin to its element, and that they have a natural bond to the Stormlord that may guide us to its hiding place. And Tempus is going to tell you that it is simply imperative that, due to his oath to Dowreth, he is going to have to start seeking these elementals. He is then going to be quiet for a moment, and he's going to say that the worst part is how I came by this information, and he's going to reveal to you that he, while in the Feywild, came across a devil, a hell wasp, and in exchange for this information about the Stormlord, it demanded either his soul or for him to host its young inside of his body. And because he couldn't give up his soul, because somebody already has a prior claim to it, he allowed it to lay its eggs in his flesh, and he'll show you a little scar upon his upper thigh on his left leg. And he's just going to reveal that he is now hosting these devilish creatures inside of his skin. Hasn't noticed anything wrong happening yet, but that's what he had to do because of the oath that he made, and that while he's sorry for the position that it puts you guys in, once we've been able to deal with the short-term concerns of the Empire of the Sun, he's going to seek the Titans.
Kaetiera is just absolutely gobsmacked and is just like gawping like a yokel seeing a second-story building for the first time.
Never a dull moment there, Tempus.
When they hatch, do they kill you?
Tempus shrugs.
Are you shrugging because you don't care or because you don't know?
Because I don't know.
That isn't information you would have, asked for before carrying something's devil babies?
Considering what I had to pay for one question, I wasn't going to ask to read the terms and conditions.
Now, are you in a hurry because you're not holding up well? Or...
He shrugs and says, I'm not in any particular hurry. By my understanding, we are in the Empire of the Sun, and if what people have said is true, it almost sounds like we maybe have gone back in time a period. Your visions, when we were in the north, saw Prince Bertemius here, standing on the wall, helping to defend the city with my tribe. But now the gossip in the street says that Prince Bertemius is not yet here. So if we're here early, then maybe we've been given a chance of some kind to make a difference. I'm not in a hurry, but I'm going to use this town to find a lead on an elemental, and then I'm going to follow it. I have to. It's what I have to do to keep Yaereene safe and uphold my oath to Dowreth.
Well, I don't know if the college can have anything that could help you, but that could be a place to start, maybe?
Well, if you'd be willing to do that research for me, that'd be great. I think I'm going to help you with your troubles.
Oh, yeah, Ysmyr. Um, when we came in here and we booked, there was a flunky that ran off to the Duke whose son I killed. Probably going to tell him that KTR is back in town. That's why I'm looking like this now.
That explains a lot. So basically, if they figure out who you are, even disguised, you can't go in the college. So you're dealing with that, whatever all that is. If we're on top of what Tempus is fairly certain we need to do, we need to, if we are back in time, we need to figure out what we can do to head everything off. Does that sound right?
Can we though? I mean, doesn't that? I I don't know enough about times of. Will it resist being changed? Will us doing stuff cause changes regardless? I'm quite puzzled as to.
What's the worst we do? We let the city guard know how about the undead and their infections and how to fight it. Maybe let them know what's going on so that they know when their clerics lose power or why it's happening.
If we do that route, we should do it inconspicuously. I don't think any of us need tales of us being in two places at once, if that is even how this is going to work.
No, I agree with that.
Well, there's the Temple of Palor. That's on the other side of the market from the college, so that'd be a place maybe to start.
Um, Quick question, Ryan. If I take a moment to reflect, which god am I answering to right now? Is it still Tempus?
That's one that you've been following, yeah.
Okay, so the time jump hasn't affected that at all?
I don't know, has it?
I guess I'll know when I pray for my morning spells.
Well, don't you have a cantrip you can try and fire off?
Sure. Let's just do a very simple, like, separate from the conversation, Rhodes is just going to kind of step back so he's not the center of attention and hold up his hand and just cast a quick light cantrip in his hand.
Yep, that works.
Cool. Gonna snuff it out just as quick and hope nobody saw.
Well,
Tempus is going to stand up at this point and say, "Look, I know that's a lot to drop on you, and I'm sorry for it. We all of us have a lot of things to discuss. I'm just going down to the common room. If any of you want to make any plans that myself and Dowreth don't know about, I don't blame you. Talk to you soon." And Tempus is going to walk to his room. He's going to retrieve the blood halberd, gird up his armor, and he's just going to head on down into the common room.
Okay.
well, is there anything that we want to plan now, or do we just want to see if I survive long enough to be part of it?
Well, I don't think you guys are wrong that we could really use any information the college potentially has.
Uh,
But
it was it's a decent college. I mean, it's not like the capital, but it's still a worthy institution. I mean, you see how well I turned out, hey?
yep.
So I do vote for the duration of our stay here that we perhaps set up a buddy system in which Katiara will always have one of us at his side.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
No, that's a good idea.
Well, do I?
And
Yeah.
I'm serious about the idea that we need to make the most of having this, I guess, forewarning that we have to help the city, even just so enough so that it lasts, right? I just don't
No,
have to do it. Right now,
no.
we're all nobodies.
I wish I was a nobody. I'm trying to look like a nobody. Hopefully, I'll pull it off, right?
Well, if only we could have a couple inches off of you, too. But, you know,
Well, I think I
doing
best
what we
keep
can.
down. I think I better keep down with Tempest. And if any assassins come in, see if they go after me right away or if the disguise is good enough. I got them fooled.
It's probably within our best interests to remain nobodies in this town time as long as we can. Or at least if we're going to have some notoriety, perhaps we should have different names.
That's a good point.
I'm just trying to make sure that we don't take any credibility away from our present, future selves, or to just not make anything more complicated for us if there is another version of us running around out there. I'm not sure how any of this works.
Well, assuming we have extra time, that means that there's younger duplicates of us up north right now.
Right. And the question is when our times coincide, do we just blink out here? Or do they blink out? Or do we keep
Well,
having to...
I would assume that they keep doing what they're doing unless we send something to interrupt it, in which case they end up where we are now.
All right. You're giving me something to think on. All right. I'm going to head down and join Tempus for a bit. You guys spend some time talking to each other. All right. You know, you deserve some time for yourselves. All right. And he does a quick bow to Ysmyr, gives a tap of the nose.
Don't do that here.
We're in a closed room.
Break the habit.
All right. I will. And then as I turn away on the side that she can't see, I give a wink and a tap of my nose to Rhodes, and I head downstairs.
Don't you think you were a little harsh on your loyalist subject there, my queen?
Don't. You gotta break that habit too.
I mean, for all anyone else knows, it makes sense when I call you that. They don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
They clearly have some guesses.
Yeah, well, they're not wrong. How did the time jump go for you, by the way? How are you feeling? Everything all where it should be?
As far as I know, yes. Felt a little off, but nothing yet. So I think that's all as it should be.
Should we find you a midwife? Should we get you looked at?
I have no idea.
Also, I have to ask, because it is a partially dragon baby, are you gonna lay an egg?
No!
With that, Rhodes will give a salute and be like, well, I should maybe go join the boys for a drink. I'm sorry.
Just... I get why you ask, but no!
Look, it's fine, princess. It's...
Just add all that part on top of things we need to think about. Because I don't know how... That whole thing... I don't know how any of that's going to go because I've never had a child before and I am a half dragon, so I don't know how if it's going to be the same as others or if it's not. It's just one more thing on top of everything.
Well, apparently I have had 3 and I can guarantee you I'm still going to be absolutely zero help with this. Maybe we should track down a midwife.
Did Ysmyr know about the others?
No, she certainly did not.
3?
1.
3?
1. So look about that midwife. We should go for a walk. It'll be nice and fine. Tempus has got first shift with Kitiara. I assume Yaerene's napping. We should just go for a walk and remember it was 1.
I remember 1.
'Cause it was 1.
Let's go for that walk. And she's gonna loop her arm in Rhodes and start walking.
Assuming they pass through the common room, Rhodes is going to mouth help towards Kitiara and Tempus.
Ysmyr just looks very on a mission.
Begging for help intensifies.
Okay, Kitiara does notice, and you just see me lean. Rose just notices that I lean over to Tempest and nudge him a little bit and give a little head toss to indicate the two of them.
Well, it's worth saying that Tempest is engaging in a little bit of theater in the common room, so he's not really going to pay much attention or react beyond maybe giving you a grunt. So when Tempus came down to the common area, he kind of scanned about the room. He's got a weapon in hand and he looks like he's armored up. And he's basically gonna walk over to like the central table that's like got the best view of the door. And if there's anybody sitting there, I'm just gonna chase him off. Just basically look at them and tell them to leave. And
They do.
at that point, I'm gonna sit down at the table and just sort of position myself so that I'm very much in view of the door. Like you'd have to be blind to miss me coming in. And I'm just gonna sit there taking a whetstone to my halberd, just over and over and over again, putting a wicked edge on my weapon,
Okay.
glaring at the door, just waiting for somebody shifty to walk through.
All right. And so nobody's stopping Ysmyr and Rhodes from going for their walk then?
Not I.
No, I'm not going to let Tempus just sit here by himself to do something for me.
Okay. So Rhodes, despite your silent pleas for help, you note that neither Tempus or KTR get up to aid you in any way.
I'll remember this moment.
Rhodes will remember that.
So yeah, you guys are heading out of the inn then?
I guess so.
I'll give you guys your own tokens on the map here. Give you a little bit more vision. Oh, Ysmyr's already got lots of ropes. Vision.
Around like what time of day is it now that we've had a chance to kind of like clean ourselves up and get settled?
It's getting towards evening.
Okay. I'm assuming that we would have taken some time to kind of heal ourselves back up.
Okay. Did you have spell slots after your fight with the giant spider?
I do still have a couple, yes. So I'll just do a cure wounds on myself here.
Oh, dude, short rest, because
Oh, cripes. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Well, that works. Too late, I already rolled.
I'm going to take a few hit dice myself.
those 2 hit dice will get me back up to full.
Nearly. Just a few short.
Ysmyr was okay.
That'll get me looking better at least, so I'll go with it.
Okay. So is there any particular part of town that you guys would like to wander to?
I think Rhodes is going to make good on the wanting to look for a midwife, especially since, Ysmyr did travel through the Feywilds whilst pregnant.
Okay.
And
And
well,
how
I was just going to say during the initial part of the walk, she's just going to be like, are you going to explain the 3 or not? And if he does, great. If he doesn't, she's just going to be like, this explains why you got yourself arrested.
Look, a lot happened in Tazalora, and I have a lot of feelings and thoughts about it, many of which got me arrested, and I think we should just leave it at that. And also never tell my mother.
I won't tell your mother if you promise to explain at some point.
I don't know what else to tell you, Ysmyr. I'm kind of just a hoe.
Indeed.
Just okay, whatever. Yep.
So about that midwife.
I don't even know where to start looking here. I guess we find, I don't know, someone selling medicinal stuff and see if they know anyone.
Can I do a perception check just to see if I can like pick up anything around the area? Maybe like a signpost or like Romy said, any like medicinal herbs or even word of mouth. If I can get lucky that way.
sure you can give me an investigation check.
How does an 18 do?
An 18 does pretty darn well. So looking around, you see what languages do you speak?
I have Common, Elvish, Infernal, and Sylvan.
Okay. You do see signposts pointing south into Old Town that indicate that there's a large market there. You also see some suspicious markings that lack words, and it's more symbols indicating that there may be merchants to the west.
Do I get any kind of do I recognize that? Sorry, give me one moment.
Yeah.
Sorry, dog.
No problem.
And sorry, what writing was the lettering or symbols in? Is it anything I recognize?
It's nothing that you recognize, no.
So I guess he'll look to Ysmyr and be like, well, do you want to go to the merchant sector or...
Is he pointing out the weird symbols?
Yeah, he would relay whatever he saw.
Would she know anything about them?
What languages does Ysmyr know?
Just Common, Draconic, and Elvish.
No. You get the same kind of vague sense that there's a market to the west.
I'm okay with just the regular market. I guess if things don't work out, we check out the other one. Just because I don't know what's over there.
If it was Tempus, I would say we should go to the Western market. But given the circumstances, we should probably play it safe.
Knowing our luck, neither choice is good. But yes, let's start safe and go from there.
So against his heart, I guess Rhodes will start leading Ysmyr to the regular market.
Unless Rhodes is like, oh, but I really want to.
He really wants to, but now there's like a baby mama to think of.
Okay. So you guys head back south through the gate in the wall and start heading towards the market there. Tempus, you are staring at the door waiting for something to happen. And you see the door does open as they're lighting fireplaces and candles in the inn. And a very well-dressed man with an erect posture and wearing a lovely curly wig, white wig, makes his way into the Northgate Inn and kind of turns his nose up and gives a little sniff and looks rather disgusted at where he finds himself.
Well, Katiara did say he was sitting with me at the table.
Yep.
Yep.
You give any indication of recognizing this guy?
Is it a flunky or is it the Duke?
It's not the Duke.
I just lean in and I say, well, it all appears to be some kind of flunky.
I love the accent work.
Well, what do you mean? I always talk like this.
That was not a game comment, but Tempest will just nod, and we'll keep mad dogging this individual, and we'll keep working the halberd with the edge of a whetstone, and just glaring at him daggers, just giving him the biggest, scariest look that a big, muscly barbarian orc can give somebody having walked in off the street.
Okay.
Are you actually trying to intimidate?
Not yet.
Um,
You'll know what I'm trying.
This guy looks around the room and to the bar, and he lifts his hand delicately and gestures for the bartender to walk to him. And so you see Eldon gets out from behind the bar and walks over, and they have a quiet discussion. And after some time, the other fellow leaves the inn, and Eldon goes back to the bar.
Could I overhear their conversation?
You can give me a perception check.
Yeah, I want a piece of that too. Woof.
My rolls are coming through slow, but haha! I beat you.
Kind of. You both got 11.
Yeah, but my modifier is +0. I'm taking this as a W.
Fair enough.
If you need these little things, you can have them.
So no, you guys can't overhear the conversation.
Well, I'll wait for the guy to leave, and then before Eldon can get back behind the bar, Tempest is just going to walk over and is just going to, one hand on his belt, one hand on his neck, just hoist him firmly but gently a couple inches above the ground and say, okay, what was that?
No need to rough me up or anything, bud. I was just Duke Weston's major domo, Gaston, coming to see if KHR was here. I told him he's not.
Do I believe him?
You can give me an insight check. Yeah, seems like he's being forthright with you.
I'll put him back down and say, good, innkeeper. And then I'm going to walk out of the bar after the major domo.
Oh boy, I'm split. I go up quickly to Eldrin. What all story did you tell him about Feldrin seeing KTR? You just said KTR got out of here while the getting was good?
I told him that last I heard KTR was seen on the road heading north. The Buddy Fennel must have just mistaken the newcomer for someone else.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. And I hand him a gold coin, and then I start dashing to catch up with Tempus.
Okay. Tempest, are you being at all stealthy in following the Major Domo?
Nope.
Okay. You do note that he has an accompaniment of 6 well-armored soldiers with him, all bearing the same coat of arms, and they're making their way back through the gate into Old Town.
I'm gonna keep following them.
Okay. As you follow, you see a figure comes slinking out of the shadows and between a couple of the noble houses, and has a discussion with the major domo.
Had I caught up enough to see this?
Yep.
Do I recognize the shadowy figure at all?
Give me an intelligence check, just a straight intelligence check.
Nope. KTR is being KTR.
No, you don't remember this guy.
All right.
Tempest, if you can give me an intelligence check too.
I rolled it, but it's taking its time to go through the internet tubes. Oh,
Nice.
smart.
You do recognize this guy as one of the people that was in the Northgate Inn initially when you entered.
Okay. Well, I'm still not making any bones about the fact I'm following. I mean, at this point, if they're taking a conversation in the street, Tempest might be leaned up against a convenient post or something, and just waiting for them to resume on their way.
Okay.
I've caught up with Tempus, I would think, by now, and I'm just walking beside him.
Yeah. How far back are you staying from the group?
Let's say a charge. I'm 40 feet back.
Okay, so you're not too far away. The individual that you saw earlier in the inn who approached speaks quite in hushed tones and looks over and sees you two there, and makes his way back towards the alley. And the major domo and his guards continue on their way.
Hey, Tiara, do you want to go for that one in the alley while I continue following your friends here?
I think I'd rather keep up with you. There's a fair bit there, so I think you could use a little bit of help.
Very well, and we'll keep following the guards and the major domo.
Okay. I'm going to go back to Ysmyr and Rhodes. You guys have made your way to the market at this point. How are you going about looking for a midwife?
I think Ysmyr is going to be looking for more medicinal, I guess, stalls. Like, is there, I guess, anyone selling supplies, potions, anything like that that could maybe be asked to point in the right direction?
Rhodes is going to take a far more direct route. With Ysmyr's arm linked through his, he's going to walk up to the first stall he sees and just kind of put on a bit of a bashful look and be like, "Hi, I'm so sorry to bother you. We're traveling from out of town, and we think my wife here might be expecting, and we're just looking for someone who could help us out."
Oh, you probably want to go to the one of the temples. They help people bring new life into the world all the time.
He's gonna glance sidelong at Ysmyr, hoping she's not taking the wife part too hard there, and just be like, "Oh, well, is there a temple you would recommend for this specific thing? Or, I mean, even we were looking more like a midwife. Anybody who offers that kind of service?"
You're full human, right, Rhodes?
That is correct.
And Ysmyr, are you looking like an elf right now?
Yep.
You note. Well, give me an insight check, both of you. You both get the uncomfortable feeling that this particular vendor is judging you on your relationship silently, but you can see kind of a frown on her face when you mention that Ysmyr is your wife and you're possibly expecting. And she says, well, for a couple such as yourself, I would recommend the Temple of Foltus. They tend to deal with non-humans more than Palor.
So no midwives.
That doesn't give you any indication that they know anything about midwives, no.
Oldest. Makes sense.
Well, thank you for your time. You have been wonderful. And Rhodes is going to, I guess, continue on with Ysmyr.
Do we know where that is? She's gonna lean over and be like, and would Ysmyr know where that?
No. No, you haven't been to the part of town where the Temple of Foltus is.
Well, I guess the best we could do is just keep asking around. Maybe I'll just tell them I'm your handler next time or something. Maybe
That
wife
is
is in
not
poor
better.
taste. Well, bodyguard? Like, I don't know.
This is a human kingdom. It is what it is.
I'm just trying to think of a better lie. That one didn't seem to go over very well.
Friend.
Yeah, but they're gonna look at us and think that obviously it's probably mine.
Then lean into it.
Yeah, that's why I said wife.
And we're just gonna have to deal with this. We're gonna get weird looks anyway. At least you don't have to say half dragon.
I never said that part.
I know, exactly. Think of the looks that would get.
So
She is saying that quiet. I'm gonna iterate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine this is that kind of like they're walking together with their heads bent in, so it looks like they're having an intimate conversation, but they're having that like really harsh whispering conversation with each other.
Yep, that's fine.
Maybe we should just find someone else to ask.
How about just directions to the temple?
Yeah, great. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. You guys ask someone for directions to the Temple of Foltus. I tell you it's due west. It's the small temple by the graveyard that's behind the much larger temple to Palor.
I don't know about you, but I don't know that I'm keen to go anywhere with a graveyard right now.
I'm not keen, but it's not new. And I think if the timing's right, this is before Miri had issues. So it should be okay.
Maybe we should go find the others just in case something goes wrong. If we're
I
look,
don't need an audience while we're talking to someone about our kid.
they don't have to be in the room with us. They just have to be there, right? Like, what if the timeline does match up and undead are going to start popping out? I think I'd rather have everyone in the same spot.
Do you want to go back quickly and look then?
I think for your sake and
I'm a big girl.
I am aware, but you're pregnant.
Only a few weeks. It's fine.
Look, it's obvious that we both want this kid, and I want to know this one, okay?
Aww.
Yeah, at that, she'll just kind of pause. Like, Ysmyr will pause and take a breath. Okay. We'll go see if they're free. Or maybe even, would you feel better if we just went to the Temple of Palor? See if they're willing to listen anyway? There was one in Nordgard that we worked with.
Yeah, okay. Let's try Palor first then. I mean, even if things do start to happen weird, at least we'd be amongst a bunch of clerics and holy people, right?
Exactly. You're forgetting you're a pretty darn good one too.
I am only one person. But yes, let's go to the temple. If we can't get help there, then we'll regroup.
Okay.
So I'm just going to put the group icon back down here. So as you guys leave the market, you see a very obvious nobleman walking with 6 guards, and Tempus and Katiara following not too far behind, not doing anything to look inconspicuous. They're like staring openly at the nobleman, who isn't looking back at them as he makes his way through the streets.
Or maybe we should regroup now.
Yeah, let's do that.
So I assume Ysmyr and Rhodes change direction to go fall in line with Kaetira and Tempus.
Okay. So Kaetira and Tempus, you guys see Rhodes and Ysmyr adjusting course to go walk with you guys.
Well, it looks like we're going to be a quartet again pretty soon.
Tempest grunts at you and just keeps on following the major domo and his crew.
Ryan, I want to scope out just exactly what it looks like they're equipped with.
The guards?
Yeah, are they like scale mail, plate mail, shields?
They are in full plate with shields and longswords.
Full plate? Holy crap. Okay. You see Kaetira just is like patting his chest because he's hit his panpipes underneath his shirt. And other than that, he's still backing up Tempest's play.
Okay. Ysmyr and Rhodes, you have no problem catching up with them.
Okay. I'm going to assume we're trying not to look like we're like drawing attention when we do it, more like falling into step by Kaetira or something. Sound right?
Okay.
So, what's going on?
Well, that fancy nobleack is the major domo for the Duke, the one who's after poor Kaetira. And he came to the hotel, and barkeep told him that last he saw, Kaetira was legging it out of town on the North Road, and that felon, or whatever the jackass's name that ratted out on Kaetira, was mistaken. And when he took off, Tempus got a hankering to find out where he was going to. And it turns out that he's got these 6 lovely gentlemen in their gleaming plate armor accompanying. And I'm just here for the ride so far, you know?
I've come up with a pretty complicated plan. I'm going to give this Duke one chance to back off nicely, and then I'm going to tear his house down around him.
Tempest, no.
Tempest, yes.
No. You can't do
Why
that here.
not? Why not?
Because you're just going to get overrun by guards. You're going to cause trouble for the rest of us. Like, how about we just pursue what we're actually here for?
No. Every
Keep
time
us under disguise. It's fine.
Every time we turn away from trouble in front of us, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
And this is going to be huge. He's a duke.
I'm going to kill it, and it's not going to be a problem.
No, you're not.
Tempest, this is one of those times where facing the problem head on is going to make it a bigger problem.
Should I have killed Gorold when we first ran into him?
No.
Gorold was not a duke.
Gorold became a larger problem down the line because we ignored it. Should I have let Miri go back to the temple?
Tempest, we're in the past. If it hasn't come up yet, do you think it's going to for Kaetira in where we should be? When we should be?
We are here because we trusted a powerful Fae with inimical designs upon us and upon you and upon your child. I don't regret following you into the Feywild and doing my best to keep you safe. But we followed Lysanther here. He had his way with us. He got what he wanted. And now he's abandoned us. Every time we step away from conflict, every time we let a problem get away from us, it turns into a disaster. I'm serving an evil god. Kaetira is on the run for his life. We spared Gorold and let him turn into a bigger problem. Miri left us and turned into a zombie. We left. Everything that we ignore turns into a problem. I'm not allowing that to happen here. I'll give peace a chance, and then I'm going to tear it all down.
This is not one of those times that's worth it.
Who are you to make that judgment call?
Who are you to make this one?
I am Tempus, friend of Fae friend.
And I'm Ysmyr Yggdrasil Orduna, your sister. And I'm trying to keep my friends and family together. We're in a situation right now. You're right. It sucks. We don't know when we are. Not just where. We know where. Thank God. Thank the gods. But this is not the time to go picking fights. We have been given a chance to make changes if we want. We have been given a chance to address things that we couldn't address before. This Duke thing is something totally different.
I'm terribly sorry. My mic acted up and my earphones, and I missed a lot of that. Did you give me a quick summary? You just told Tempest that this is our chance to do things better in the past and not mess things up for the future?
Basically.
Then Tempest is going to shoot back. You have no way of knowing whether ignoring things will make it better or worse. The only one who could probably be in a position for that is Lysanthier, and I'm going to kill him the next time I see him, so that I don't have to lose half of my life in the Feywild.
Look, Tempus, approaching this Duke now is just going to tip him off that Katira is here. There's no way to do this without inviting their full attention on us. We're only 5 people.
And what kind of people are we? Rhodes, you are probably one of the strongest priests in this entire world. Ysmyr, you have the strength and fury of a dragon. You have the power of a celestial being in your hand.
No,
Our
I don't.
Our nameless friend here is probably one of the most powerful spellcasters of the era with his incredible bardic magics. And I am darkness itself visited upon this world.
And look at all we haven't saved in spite of that.
Because we hold back, delay, question, quibble, and otherwise walk cautiously and in fear. No more.
I never held back in Eliston.
And no reason to do it now.
I'm just saying, Tempus, there is a time to pick the fight, and I don't think this is it.
I'm picking this one.
It's not your fight.
Why not?
Have you asked Katira?
I'm going to wheel on him and I'm going to say, well, are you tired of running? Are you tired of constantly avoiding your problems instead of facing them like a man? Are you tired of just letting the world go by and make a victim of you?
Tempus, what I am is a man that has always tried to do his best, but that's also someone who knows when to choose his fights. We're not backed into a corner. It looks like they've bought the story. I say the smart play, the safe play is if they don't poke us, we don't poke them.
Suit yourself. I'm going to find out where he lives so I can come back and put a pin in him and his entire family after this all goes sour.
And just as you say that, you note that the major domo and his guards head into the building just to the west of where you are now.
Oh.
Also, Ysmyr and Rhodes, you would have noted that you passed by the Temple of Foltus, just to the north of where I just pinged it.
Tempus going to walk an easy lap around the villa, just taking note of, walls, entrances, any visible guards, any noticeable security, and then he's just going to, he's not a surly teenager anymore, so he's not going to sulk or pout, but he's going to very, very manfully just kind of glower as we walk away from the manor.
No, it's the building to the north.
The one that I just pinged is the building that you saw the major domo go into. The building there is the Temple of Foltus.
All right, so after casing the joint, are we going to the Temple of Foltus or Temple of Pelor?
Wait, did we tell Katira and Tempus about our discussion on that?
No, we haven't.
Nope. Oh, and also, Tempus, if it does go south and you need to head there and you want to visit the wrath of Tempus on the place, I'll be with you. Don't think I won't. But I'm not going to start it and create issues for everybody else.
I really hope you don't grow to regret your decision today.
I shrug.
So I guess Rhodes is going to glance over at Ysmyr and be like, "Well, we're here."
Yep.
So what are we going with this time? Are we sticking with wife? Are we going with bodyguard? What's our angle?
Well, now you got a wife and 2 bodyguards if they decide to come with us, and she'll look at the other 2. We were just going to stop in one of the temples. Are you coming, or are you going to go back and lay low?
Well, ain't no better way to find out if everything works than making sure I'm out and about,
Ysmyr, do you still have the Daystar?
Yes.
May I have it?
Why?
Because I want it.
That's not a good enough answer for me.
Because I want it for future use.
And what is that future use, Tempus?
I don't know yet, but I have a couple of inklings.
I don't know if I want to give it to you, especially after that talk we just had.
I proved that I was willing to listen to you even though I thought it was wrong. Now it's time for you to show some trust in me.
I'd like to know what some of your ideas are.
Can't tell you at present.
You'll notice she's really not looking convinced right now.
If I swear to you that I am not going to use it to harm innocent individuals, will that set your concerns to rest?
That just brings my concerns to who you deem innocent.
How about the employees of this lord?
You can't use it on the Lord, Tempus.
I am not going to. I've already agreed to leave that alone.
Then I am still concerned on what is sparking you to ask for it. Like, you have a history of doing, well, things that aren't so smart with this. And after everything and your whole thing, and I know it's frustrating, but your whole thing is you don't want to run anymore. My whole thing is I find it very hard to just let things go.
What are you struggling to let go? My previous indiscretions or the issues of our past as a group?
Indiscretions.
Well, at that, Tempus will shrug and will say, I'll point out that in this moment I reined myself in, even though you can understand how much I didn't want to. I listened to you. If you can't trust me, you can't trust me. And we can just get that out of the way now.
I suppose it's a bit of both. There's that, but there's also the fact that this stupid rock it is an issue of our past stuff. Pulling this was a mistake. So now I'm scared of how it'll be used. Which is why I need to know.
If I told you I plan to use it to kill undead, would you trust me with it?
That's in the right direction. This is coming from you coming off a want to hurt people rant. So I'm hesitant.
Speaking of which, have we seen any undead?
Nope.
Sorry, that would be a question for Tempus.
Oh, sorry.
All good.
Tempus will shrug and he'll say, strictly speaking, I don't think that they're really people until, we find out if they're against us or not. But that's neither here nor there. Either give me the star or let's be about our business.
When you have an actual idea of what you're going to use it for, we'll talk again.
Tempus will remember that.
Lots of things to be remembered this session.
Palor or Fultus? Well, we have all four of us, so Fultus?
Fultus, it'll give us a chance to see if they're already losing their spells. Give us a timeline.
Okay.
Fultus it is.
All right. So the story is that Rhodes and Ysmyr are husband and wife, and we have 2 bodyguards accompanying us. Do we want to use alternate names?
Probably should.
Well, what all names are we going to use?
I'll go with Ori. Sounds like a good name.
I'll go with Festus.
Just call me Hey You.
Well, if we don't pause and we make it all sound like one word, hey you. All right.
Graceless.
Tiara kind of frowns a little bit and raises an eyebrow at that.
I think she meant that as her name.
I know.
What?
I'll just call you Grace then.
Sure.
And to try and cut through the tension, Rhodes will link his arm through Ysmyr's again and be like, well, Grace, why don't we go check on the little one?
Sure, dear.
Okay, no, that's weird. We have to think of something else other than deer.
Oh, boy.
All right, princess, let's round up and get going.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. You guys go up to the front doors and note that night has fallen by this point, and it appears dark in the temple.
Tempus walks up and just starts pounding on the door.
Okay. How long are you waiting for a response?
I'm not waiting for a response. Tempus continues to pound on the door.
Tempus.
After a little while, you hear a soft voice from the other side saying, "Yes, yes." And you hear something moving on the other side of the door, and then it opens up just slightly, enough that you see an eyeball looking out at you from inside. Yes, what?
My lady is in need of a healer. Open this door henceforth.
If you need a healer, you're best off going elsewhere.
I didn't ask for your commentary. You have 5 seconds to open this door before I do it for you.
Rhodes will step up and place a hand on Tempus's arm and just be like, sorry, we're very sorry to disturb you this late. We just got in from traveling. It has been a very long journey with its share of difficulties, to put it lightly. And my wife is expecting, and I just need to know that everything's okay.
Give me a persuasion roll.
How's that for persuasion?
That's excellent. That you see the gaze flick towards Ysmyr.
If it
And
helps, she probably does look tired, and the arguing probably hasn't helped.
yeah. And you see the door opens slightly more, and you see the face of a very sad man. And he has tears rolling down his cheeks at your story. And he says, "Truly, I am so sorry I cannot help you."
Can I
Wha-
insight that?
Yep,
Can I do the same?
sure.
Me threesies.
Damn.
All right, Tempest, what do you want to know?
I want to know why he's so upset.
Looking at him, he appears disheveled. You note that despite being in the temple, he is not wearing any kind of holy symbol on his person. And he just, you feel like the weight of the world is crashing down on him, and this story of a woman in need and his inability to help with the power of his god behind him is just absolutely soul crushing to him.
Ryan, with 18, is that enough to get the same info?
I would say that you'd get the sense that his sorrow is certainly not a show. He's not putting anything on. He's deeply sad.
So, with that insight, Tempus's eyes are just going to narrow, and he's just going to say, "It's already happening, isn't it? Your god isn't answering you. He's not giving you your spells.
Voltus abandoned us. Yes,
How long?"
it's been some time now.
We're looking for an, something more than that. Is it a month and a half, 2 weeks?
Okay, how do I say this without knowing the exact time myself? Based on his answer, you get the feeling that this is around the same time that you guys went up around the area of the Temple of the Sun, and Miri left the party.
Oh, not that long ago. A month or so.
It's been
2 months. 3.
Yeah, it was a long trip up north.
I was thinking it's more like at least half a year.
No, not that long.
Okay.
So Tempus is just going to look at this sad man, and he's going to look back at the rest of the party, and he's going to say, "Well, are you going to fix this, or are you going to leave it to me?"
Hold on. You're saying that the Temple of Palor is they still have access to healing?
No, the Temple of Palor is in similar problems.
Well, she's going to look at this. We have some answers of why. I think we need to start telling people.
Perhaps this isn't a conversation we should be having in the street. Might you let us in?
You see that he has had his curiosity piqued by Ysmyr saying that you know why, and he does open the door wide to allow you in. And as you enter, you see that the building is dark. There's nobody else in here. It looks like it hasn't been well kept for some time. Everything's in a state of disarray.
Are you the only one here?
Yes, the others saw no point in staying.
So you're like the whole building is not lit at all? It's completely dark inside?
Yeah.
Okay. Rhodes will do the courtesy for the group and the, I guess, person in the temple and cast light on something so we at least have something to see each other by.
Okay. At that, you see this man's face light up, and he says, "The light! You brought forth the light! How is this possible? What god allows this still?"
So Rhodes is going to look around the group and go, "All right, who wants to tell him?"
It's a long story. Are you ready for one?
Certainly, certainly.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Senber.
Okay. Well, Sinber, if you have somewhere we can sit, I'll tell.
He waves you over, and he writes a couple of pews in the main chamber, and offers you a seat.
And he's gonna go sit, look at the others, just be like, I'm gonna do this. And yeah, I think she'll give him it's a long version, but the best version she can to get the point across. I don't want to like spiel everything out because that would be a long time, but
Yeah,
she wants to
yeah,
make
for
sure
sure.
he
But you
knows
tell him about.
everything. Shiro,
Okay.
Dowreth, what's happening to the gods, what's going on. Be like, mention that it's gonna get worse for people.
Okay. So at that, he pays rapt attention to you as you're talking about the whole thing, and asks questions along the way, looking for more information. Uh, do you tell him about the fact that you used to travel with a cleric of Foltis?
I think she would. I don't see why she would leave it out.
Okay.
Would it be fair to say that we're basically telling him everything about the stories of our adventures, but just being sort of muddy on what the timeline is and not revealing ourselves as time travelers? Is that a fair assessment of
Yeah,
this
that's a
retelling?
good way to put it.
Um, hmm, okay.
So I'm assuming to add on to that, we
So
would have left out like very monumentous events, like the falls of cities or towns, or like very big specific events where news would have traveled on as well.
Now that she has an idea that it's about when the Temple of the Sun stuff happened, Ysmyr I think will be trying to line up what she knew had happened. Like we had met Bartimus by then, so she knows he's probably in the north, which means she has an idea that they've been getting hints of undead and stuff down here, and she can just
yeah.
say, "From what I've seen, it's just gonna get worse," you know. But this is
Um,
why it's gonna get worse.
what was the name of your friend who followed Foltis? I know all of the clerics in the temple here.
Uh,
Her name was Miri Brightwood.
And at that, he looks very curious and says, I don't recognize that name. Where are you from?
None of your business.
We're travelers from across this region. I hail from the north, and I have traveled far. As I mentioned, we've been on a very strenuous journey for personal reasons.
See, I'm not familiar with other temples of Foltis in the region. That's all. I thought I knew everyone who followed him.
Well, if it's from the north, you may not know.
Perhaps I just thought I would have heard news of them building a temple. Is it up in? Well, it couldn't be Stormguard or Oville. I certainly would have heard of those.
As you would know, sometimes belief is a matter that is very private. Do all clerics need a temple to practice in to believe?
No, I suppose not. But uh, it's the most common way that people learn of the gods. Usually, there's a teacher involved.
And on that note, this seems like an excellent time to put you to the test. Do you want to have the powers of a god in your hands again? Do you wish to go forth and use your faith to make this world a better place?
That's all I've ever wanted.
Would you swear yourself to a deity that isn't Foltis?
Rhodes is going to give Tempus a real warning look here for a second, because I think I know which direction he's going in.
I'm not sure. I've been clinging to the hope that Foltus would answer my prayers. I haven't put any thought into changing my path, as some of the others did.
There are two paths before you, and I can't say which one is correct, and which one is easy, and which one is hard. If you had a chance to bring back Foltus, if it meant taking a hard, dangerous path, fighting against insurmountable odds, would you take that path? Alternatively, if you could have power unchecked, with which to aid the people around you, to have the surety and strength to know that nothing and no one could ever take it away from you again, which would you choose?
I want to help these people, especially in these troubled times with the undead. It's a terrible feeling, being alone and powerless, when I should have the strength to turn them away.
So choose. Do you wish to fight for a world in which you will rescue Foltus? Or are you willing to reach for power unchecked?
If I could,
Is
I
it
would
gone?
rescue Foltus.
Rhodes, there's nothing for me to do here, and Tempus will stand up and walk out of the temple.
Rhodes is going to notably let out a massive sigh of relief.
From what we've been able to learn, Foltus isn't gone. He's just imprisoned by these elder gods. The problem is, when they're imprisoned, you can't reach them and they can't reach you.
Hi, Jody!
Hi, guys. I am so sorry.
We have a Jody. She missed all of the fun time travel talk. That's unfortunate.
I did totally forget it was game day. And I have to be up at 4 a.m. tomorrow to catch my flight.
Oh no.
And I'm not packed.
Oh, no.
Crap.
So I don't think I can stay today. I am so sorry I've messed up.
Well, if you want to listen in,
I think I need to pack and then go to bed.
Okay. That's fine. These things happen.
I am so sorry. I have never forgotten before. And I hope to never do it again. I feel terrible.
We'll send you a
Oh.
Cole's Notes version of the trouble that we've made for you and your character in your absence.
Clearly, we are blaming everything on Yaereene.
Oh, good. And you know what? She will totally buy into that. 100%. It was definitely her fault.
I mean, if she wanted something different to happen, she should have spoken up.
She should have. She should have.
You know, what I really regret is you don't get to find out what my real hair color is.
Whoa, that's been discussed tonight as well?
Uh-huh.
That's
Oh,
the most important thing.
well, I feel like I'm missing a lot. I have missed you guys, and I am definitely now missing you guys even more.
Miss
Yeah,
you
we
too.
just-
Hope you have a safe flight tomorrow.
Thank you. And apparently
For
there's a baby involved. I'm just catching up on chat. Who's
Yes,
baby?
Ysmyr's baby.
Okay. Wanted to make sure there were no more.
I mean, you did miss a conversation about Rhodes' 3 other children.
Okay, just checking.
I hope you have an awesome vacation.
For
It's
sure.
work,
Safe
actually.
travels.
It's for work, so but it should be good. Thank you guys, and I will definitely look forward to Cliff Notes catch up.
Cool.
All right.
Make sure you get
Safe
it.
travel.
Have a good night.
Thanks. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
While we're off topic, somehow I got logged out of the forge and I'm trying to get back in and it's not giving me the option.
Oh, that's weird. I see that you're no longer in the forge.
Yeah, I'm
So
just trying to
maybe-
sign back in.
I think, though, we left off with Ysmyr telling our new friend Simber that about how the gods aren't like gone destroyed; they just can't be reached. So it's a case of it's basically a case of finding ways to work around that until we can free them, or someone can.
Well, what can I do to help free Foltus then?
When the Gospel of Sharo and Dowreth come through, don't follow them and speak out against it as strongly as you can.
Spread the stuff we just told you. People you trust, start with them. have them spread it, and get the story going so that, and understand that it is, in a way, the people who have the power to support, if there are still gods around, to support them and keep them able to fight.
Quick question for you, Ryan. Would it be a stretch to assume that Rhodes would still have any of the sigils or anything that he would have made when we were traveling with the Elliston survivors?
I think you had made them and were handing them out as fast as you could make them, because people were converting to Tempus at a rapid pace.
Okay, next question. Is there anything in this room that I could use to make one?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so while this conversation is going on, Rhodes is going to step away to get that process started.
Okay. So Sunbert promises that he will talk to some of the priests of Foltus who went onto other temples. He knows someone enough to Denier, god of knowledge and literature and scholars. And there is the temple to Denier, east side of town.
Actually, that one would be a good one to visit.
But he's not sure, because the Temple of Palor is having similar issues. He's not sure where others have gone, if they even stayed in the city. Some of them may have taken some of the last ships out.
If there are still people in the temple, it's good that they know the story so that they don't get tempted by Shiro or Dowreth. Some might anyway. There's no helping it that people are people. But it's a good start to explain to people what happened. Even what we're seeing with the zombies, understanding this infectious bite, everything like that. Just having people know is the most important thing. And then from there, can take the steps to fight back.
Yes, I will go to the Temple of Denier first, as they value knowledge above all else, and they will be most receptive to this news, and perhaps they will have more information about this Sharo and Dowreth in their libraries.
So,
Yes.
wait just a minute. Tempus walked out of the room. Did you actively say that worship Tempus the deity, as he'll be able to grant you miracles for a while?
Rhodes hasn't said anything yet.
No, and Ysmyr's just been saying, tell people what's happening, use what we told him, so that they can make the most informed decisions. So that they know things like the zombie bites will be infectious, so that they know don't just fall for someone talking about for Ro and Dowreth, because this is what they did to us. Stuff like that.
Out of game, Rhodes, you better get yourself a convert fast, otherwise I'm coming back in there and telling him all about the good word of evil.
I'm trying. Be patient.
Ysmyr's talking while Rhodes is doing things. Don't worry.
So, assuming this is all happening in a timely manner, Rhodes will come back and approach the priest, and he will press this, I guess, little stand-in sigil that he made into his palm, and just be like, and speak quietly, because I don't know where Tempus is, and probably want to keep Tempus out of these plans. He'll just be like, there are gods out there. Follow Tempus until you can get back to your own.
I will consider your words. Thank you.
And then Rhodes will nod to Ysmyr, seeing that she has it handled, and he will go out to find Tempus, mostly to make sure Tempus doesn't come back in to try and steal his convert.
Tempus is in an alley outside of the church. He's sort of got his knees tucked up against his chest, and he is very very audibly sobbing and crying.
All right. So Rhodes will approach and quietly come sit by him. He won't say anything for right now, but just offer quiet company.
Well, and that's where we leave it in the alleyway.
Okay. So your new friend Senber thanks you very much for all of the information, and heads off into the city to spread the word.
Well, we didn't get what we came here for, but I think we started something.
I think we started something good, but good is as good does, and I don't know if we'll be around to see the end of it in this place.
After composing himself a little bit, Tempus is going to point out that in the future timeline, the city was still managing to hold out against just a utterly inhospitable, giant, encompassing horde of the undead. And this might be the reason. There might be some sort of time travel shenanigans going on in which, if we're able to positively impact the city in advance of the horde arriving, they might be able to hold out. And empowering the clerics, and he's just going to sort of like very pointedly not look at Rhodes, might be a good way to do it. Another good way to do it would be to take care of elements in the city that might work against its defenses. I think there's a duke down the road that I'm convinced is a traitor.
There's a duke down the road whose son was killed. So, tomato, tomato.
Oh, little shit deserved it.
And that's not going to win you friends. Just saying. But it was a duel, so that's a whole other thing. Anyway, so, it's late. I doubt we're going to find, someone for why we came here in the first place. Should we go back to the inn and sleep?
Does this town truly not have a single midwife?
It's evening. Everyone's probably going home.
Did you guys fill Tempus in about the Temple of Denir and tell him about that?
I don't think Rhodes will have said anything at this time.
I don't think it's occurred to Ysmyr.
All right, then nothing more from me. If you guys are saying we're going back to the inn to bed, then let's go back to the inn to bed.
We can try again tomorrow, Rhodes.
On the walk back, I am going to be very, very watchful because I want to make sure I still don't get jumped because I don't trust that one guy from the alley.
Okay. You can give me a perception check.
Yeah, I'm suitably paranoid.
Yeah. You keep an eye out, but you don't see anybody looking at you guys particularly closely. You don't hear anybody whispering or talking about you as you pass. You make your way back to the inn unmolested.
Good stuff.
The inn is in a similar state to how you left it. There's not a whole lot of people here. Like there's a couple of people at a few of the tables. Again, it goes quiet when you enter. Bartender just nods at you as you come in.
This time I'm actively looking for that informer that I recognize talking to the Major Domo.
Okay. You can give me a perception check.
Jeez, I'm rolling rocks today.
Yeah, that's a good check. You take a good look at everybody in the pub area, and you don't see the person that they identified as Fennel.
All right, then I'm an old man now. I need my sleep, and I'll head off to bed.
Okay. Is everybody else going to bed too?
I guess so. Or at least Ysmyr is. And as she goes, as she passes Rhodes, she's just going to be like, you can come share if you want. But she's tired, so she's heading up.
Well, I guess assuming Katira is still in the hall, Rhodes will give Katira a salute and follow Ysmyr.
Katira just rubs his chin a little bit, smiles, and is like, now, do I need a little drum to make it a little easier to sleep? And do I remember seeing any really kind of darkish or like not visible from the door corners with a table that I could sit down and have a drink?
Yeah.
All right, so I go back downstairs and I settle in, and I settle in with a glass of red wine, just kind of mulling through my head all the impossibilities that I've gone through today.
Okay. He's going to charge you 10 gold for the glass.
Okay.
Expensive wine.
I think it's also a little bit of a payback. Because
That makes
after all, I mean, Tempus basically just blew his early night crowd for him, or afternoon. All right, I've taken it off my inventory.
Okay.
All right, and I'm not completely oblivious to what's going on in the bar. I am looking around, and if I hear the door opening or anything like that, I am definitely like keeping an eye on people coming in.
Yep. So you do hear the door open, and you see a crowd of about 8 people come in, and they go up to the bar and chat with the bartender and order some drinks and go get a table.
All right, and there's nobody I recognize in that.
You can give me a perception check, I guess.
21.
One of them does look familiar. He looks different than he did earlier in the day, but you're pretty sure one of them's Fennel, and he's disguised himself.
All right. I'm just gonna keep sipping my wine and just keeping an eye on him out of the corner of my eye, like not looking over, not doing anything like that, but definitely want to be aware of where he is and what he is doing.
Okay. Yeah, he seems to be. Well, you can give me an insight check.
Go. 28.
Okay. Yeah, you can see that although he appears outwardly to be relaxed and just having fun with his friends, and they're all enjoying their drinks. None of them are drinking particularly quickly. All of them have a hand nearby, hidden weapons under their cloaks, and all of them keep casting their gazes in turn up towards the stairs that lead up to the rooms.
Let's check something. All right. I know where Tempus's room is, right?
Yep.
I'm going to message and just tell him. And, when I do that, I'm like looking away from the group so Fennel can't see my lips. And just message. Fennel is downstairs and he has a bunch of bully boys with hidden weapons under their cloaks that they're looking up the stairs. Be warned.
Am I able to respond to the message?
I think it's
No.
message is just one way.
Yeah. And I will say that it makes it to Tempus.
This is the spell message, the cantrip?
Yes.
Yeah.
You point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message. The target, and only the target, hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
Oh, shit. Okay, sorry.
Well, it's okay, because Tempus just whispers back, "If you just ignore him, maybe he'll go away and everything will be fine."
Wow.
Another message. I'm just making sure that if there's a poke, we poke harder.
And Tempus is going to whisper back, "Oh, I'll give you a poke," and then dial tone.
Huh. All right. I'm just going to continue sipping my wine.
Okay.
Keeping my eye. Are they starting to get a little antsy?
They've been a little antsy the whole time.
Hmm.
So you sit there for a while longer, sipping your wine, and all of the eyes of the people at that table go to the stairs as a large figure comes walking down to the pub, and you see Tempus.
And I figure that Tempest should be able to pick out the group fairly easily based on KTR's description, right?
Yeah, you know who you're looking for. You noticed him before, so, but he is disguised now. But yeah, given that, yeah, I'm not going to make you roll anything for it. You determine where Fennel is, and you see that he's seated with a bunch of other people as well.
I'm just going like they're standing at the bar.
No, they've gotten themselves a table.
Okay, Tempest is going to walk over to the table, and without without really putting a lot of effort into being good about this, he's just basically going to walk right into the corner of Fennel's chair, like really rocking him back, like, having like basically run into him. And then he's just going to stop, pivot to to Fennel, and he's going to say, "You have given me insults, sir." And then backhand slap him right in the face and say, "I demand satisfaction."
Oh, boy.
Can you make an unarmed strike?
Making it recklessly at advantage.
So he wasn't caught by surprise.
Take away the rage as well. I'm not raging yet.
That just adds damage, right?
Correct. So 17 to hit and 5 damage if it hits.
It doesn't. You rock his chair, and it's almost like he expected it. He bounds out of the way as the chair goes clattering across the floor. You go to backhand him, and you just miss as he takes a step back and dodges the strike. And he kind of smirks at you and says, "I don't think I'm your type, buddy."
And I'll simply respond, "Will you grant me satisfaction, or are you a coward?"
Well, I'm no coward, but I'm not really into you.
What's behind him?
7 other guys who have all gone completely still, hands hidden under cloaks.
I spit in his face and say, "Outside, now."
I'm just having some fun with my friends in here. There's no reason for me to be going outside.
I'm going to reach behind the bar, grab a container of whatever liquid I can, and just slop it across his boots.
Eldon isn't letting you get at the stuff behind the bar.
Is Eldon really going to be able to stop me? Can
I
I?
mean, if you want, I'm just saying you're going to have to force your way past Eldon to get it.
I really don't want to involve Eldon any more than this, but now that I've sort of started this, I can't really back down. Tempus going to walk right up to his face and say, "Last chance. We can take this outside like gentlemen, or I can paint this room with you."
Now the question is, do they get a surprise round if the other guys stab you in the back while you're not focused on them? Oh, you can't be surprised.
Barbarian, baby!
Yeah, those will do. All right. Let's see if I've got some kind of map that I can use for this nonsense. Okay. Yeah, we'll use this one. Right. Tempus. Yara. And I believe that's everybody who's here. All right, let's roll some initiative. Teacher, are you going to roll initiative too? I figure you're in the room, so I'll give you a chance.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where it is in here again. Checks, conditions, utility,
It's
roll initiative. Okay, got it.
the combat. Yep, there you go. Okay, this guy's going to slide in here. Fine, Tempest will say that this guy is Fennel. Short sword, okay. Advantage. 3. Get one of these. Oh my god. This guy, one of the thieves, sneaks up behind you and crits you 3 times with a short sword in the back. So you take 13, 26, 36, 39 plus 18, 49, 57 damage as he just absolutely unloads on you.
Hang on. Just taking a look. All right.
I'm terribly sorry. I probably should have said this sooner. Was he sliding in from where I'm pinging on the map?
Yep.
Would you let me go back in time and see if I reaction polearm poke him?
Can you link that? I want to see how it's worded. Yeah, he was already in your reach. He wasn't entering your reach.
Oh, okay then.
Actually, I want to use cutting words.
What does that do?
As a reaction, when a creature that's not immune to being charmed, you can see within 60 feet, makes an attack roll, ability, or damage roll, you can expend 1 use of Bardic Inspiration, roll the die, and subtract that number from the creature's roll.
You can't do that on a surprise round, can you?
Would I? So I've been watching the whole thing play out, and you're okay. You're going to say that I'm still surprised? All right.
Yeah, because this guy snuck up behind Tempus while he was still threatening and talking to Fennel. So yeah, it is a surprise round. It's just Tempest doesn't get surprised because of his barbarian. Right.
Okay.
All right, Tempest.
Old man Tempus will smile with a bleedy, bloody mouth. Is going to bonus action rage and 2 attacks on Fennel.
Okay.
Not reckless. I figured I'd just say that for once in my life, I'm not going reckless if I'm, the meaty filling of a rogue sandwich.
All right. 15 misses.
Should be another one coming through.
And a 10 misses.
That's my turn.
Okay. So Fennel deftly dodges your attacks, grins, and attacks you back. First attack 12 misses, I assume.
AC of 16.
All right. So the first attack deals 9 damage, halved, and that was just about a 20. And another 5 damage from his third attack. So 14 over.
I've noted all of it.
Okay. This guy from across the table gets up and rolls onto the table. So if you want to react to that guy, you can.
May I? Womp.
Yeah, that's a miss. And he does not have advantage. So 12 misses, 25 hits for 12 damage,
God damn it.
and another 3.
And Orcish Fortitude to stay standing at 1 hit point.
Oh my god.
Keitara is surprised. 5, 15.
Could I take an action to message?
Not
Next
at the
round, you
moment.
will.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm. Yeah.
14 misses, 20 hits.
I am unconscious.
You sure are. And Keitara, just in a flash, you see these 4 roguish fellows surround Tempus, stab him a whole bunch of times, and Tempus flails around trying to attack ineffectually and just goes down in a heap. And you hear Eldon say, "That's enough. Don't need no bloodshed in my bar." And Fennel grins at him, walks over, flips him a gold coin, and says, "Sorry about the mess." And the rogues all leave.
What's the reaction from everybody else in the bar? Did they just start fucking off, or they?
They've gone back to their drinks. And Tempest, you can give me a death save.
Not seeing a way to do a roll through that, so I'll just do a manual dice roll.
Okay. Okay, that's 1 fail.
All right,
Noted.
I get over by him and I do a cure wounds.
Okay.
Okay, I hit it, but I'm not getting anything.
I see the
Foundry.
ability came
On
up in the
Foundry, you
chat.
have to hit it.
Yeah, I think you just have to click the roll damages button. Oh, that's a nice one. Tempest, you wake up with 27 hit points, and is bad.
Well, Tempest, let's get you upstairs.
Yeah, Tempest doesn't have much else to say to that. He's just going to he'll get up, he'll put the chair that he tried kicking out to rights, and he will walk upstairs.
I just sent you a little something there, Tempest.
Oh, grand. Okay. He's gonna say, Tiara, do you remember when you were having some difficulties?
Yeah, I remember.
I'm pretty sure one of them stabbed me in my kidney. And Tempest is going to show you this big gaping wound in his side. And he's going to say, yep, that definitely feels like some organ damage.
Damn. I thought you had to roll really low to roll on that chart. Dang.
I always do highs bad, and I rolled 55 on the percentile dice, so that's above 50.
Well, in any event, we can deal with this in the morning. That was fun. Thanks for letting me know about it.
Well, I wish I hadn't let you know about it now.
Well, maybe next time you'll think about that, and you'll think about the harm that can come to your friends when you don't face your problems directly and in the moment. And Tempest will close the door on KTR before he can, correct me.
Message. You caused that by being rash, you damn ass.
Message back, I'm pretty sure you did by being a chicken shit.
Love you too, Nat.
All right. So.
And Rhodes and Ysmyr sleep peacefully through the night.
They sure
Yay!
Yeah. So the rest of the night passes by uneventfully enough. So Tempest, I don't know if you have any hit dice left that you want to use to heal.
But we do get a long rest.
I got a
Yeah.
couple, but yeah, I'll take care of that.
Okay. And it's long rest is 1 hit point plus your con.
Yep.
Okay, that's enough to bring me up to full. I was at 63.
I'm going to say I use the rest of my spell slots to get back up to where I need to be. Or would you like me to roll?
No, that's fine. I'm sure you've got more than enough spells to get you full.
I think 2 4th level cure wounds would probably do it.
Yep. Unless you rolled real bad. All right. How's everybody feeling? You want to continue on for the next day? I know it's getting late out east.
I'm still all right. I'm more worried about Tempus, based on what he said about his lack of sleep last night.
So far, I'm hanging in strong. I mean, I wouldn't want to start another ruckus, but yeah, I've got maybe another 20, 30 minutes left in me.
Okay.
Is that enough for you, Ryan?
Sure. Yeah, I can keep going however late you guys want. I'm on vacation this week, so I'm
All
good.
right. I'm just going to do a quick pee, so start the day without me, and I'll jump in.
Okay. So yeah, you guys get up the next morning.
Tempus is going to intercept Rhodes and say, "Hey, Rhodes, you're pretty good at medicine and such, right?"
Well, I am a cleric. And Rhodes is gonna... Can Rhodes tell anything by how Tempus is standing? Did Tempus clean himself up enough? Are there any hints?
I don't think he cleaned himself up at all. He just went into his room and went to bed. Like he's been stabbed.
Hey, Tempus has always been very fastidious and very much on hygiene. So he will have wiped the blood, but he'll also turn immediately and show you a gaping stab wound and say, "I got stabbed last night, and I'm pretty sure it did some organ damage."
How did you get stabbed last night? And like Rhodes is going to take a quick glance around for Ysmyr. It is unclear by his expression whether he is looking for Ysmyr to tell on Tempest or whether he's looking for Ysmyr to hide it from her.
Well, they used short swords mostly.
Who's they?
Some of Katiara's admirers.
Oh, Tempest. And Rhodes is going to turn and shuffle Tempest back into his room. Like, into Tempest's room.
And Tempus is basically going to like ask if you can like help fix his organs because he feels very yucky because there's like a hole in one of his kidneys. If you'd be, I'm pretty sure you have the best medicine check among us. I need a DC 15 medicine check, please.
We'll see how that goes.
You need 10 DC 15 medicine checks made over 10 days.
We'll start with this first one.
This first one's not great.
No,
So
no,
this would count as a debilitating effect, correct?
Yes, he can lose his action in combat if he fails a con save.
So he's got a variation on neuralgia?
Yeah.
All right, so Rhodes is going to kind of sit back and look at Tempest and be like, "Look, I can help you, but we're going to need some supplies for this one. It's a bigger spell, Tempest."
Yeah, sure, whatever. I really hope that all of you have learned your lesson, and I don't want to say I told you so, but these are the hazards of not confronting our problems when we have the chance to do so.
It looks like you took the chance to confront them and it went very badly.
Yes, because I was by myself, because the rest of you declined to do it yesterday. So I hope that you've learned something from this. Let's go get some breakfast.
Why didn't you knock on our door on the way down, Tempest?
Because it was Katiara's problem and he asked for me.
And we're a group. You could have said something. You could have told us.
Well, why wouldn't Katiara have done it if he didn't want you there?
You can have that conversation with Katiara then, but I would ask the same question.
Nah, I'm good.
Fine. We'll take today. We need to find some diamond dust so I can do greater restoration to help you out here.
I don't think that's gonna cut it.
Wouldn't greater restoration cut it?
No.
Oh boy.
It needs a regenerate spell.
So that's why I'd asked if it was a debilitating effect. So it's worse than that?
I guess. It just says magic such as the regenerate spell can cure your organ damage. So I'm guessing regenerate or higher.
It specifically calls for a 6th level spell, so yep.
Well, you're you're a little up shit creek there, friend.
I don't know
But
what you're talking about. I'm fine.
Well,
Guess who
yeah,
caps at
now
5th level spells?
we haven't pissed off the higher ups in the religions around here. So there might be somebody in this place that can cast a 6th level spell.
We also need to find someone who can cast it.
No, that's what I'm saying. There is if we check in the temples, hopefully, because the problem with KTRO is that with the whole Tempus situation back in Nordgard, that bishop, cleric, archbishop, whatever he was, the high priest, hated our guts and refused to use the spell on me.
As I recall, just as a player, I believe it was he was saving his spell for greater need. Didn't hate us because he didn't know we were affiliated with him, and you got pissed.
He hated our guts. He knew Tempus was Tempus.
He didn't know we were Tempus's friends.
So Rhodes is just gonna look at Tempus and be like, okay, obviously I am gonna have to tell Ysmyr about this.
Oh no, I wouldn't want her to feel guilty and ashamed for not helping me confront the problem yesterday.
I need you to check your attitude right now. we're gonna have to tell Ysmyr and figure out what we can do to help. And then next time, just knock on the door on your way downstairs.
You take that up with Katiara. This was his side quest. He's responsible for deciding who comes to help him.
Oh boy, I am just waiting for somebody to say something to me. I'm not in the area right now. I know that, but oh my god.
Well, I guess Rhodes would help Tempus patch up the best he can with a 5 for a medicine check.
Makes
But
it worse.
Outside of that, I don't think there's anything else I can do for him right now.
Nope, thanks for trying. We'll just head on downstairs and we'll get breakfast.
Yeah, so just so you know, he needs 10 DC 15 medicine checks once every day to repair the organ damage. So you don't need a regenerate spell if you really want to make him suffer, but there is at least another option, unlike KTR's neuralgia.
So we can do the medicine check until we find a spell, or whichever comes first.
Right.
Now, does Rhodes having failed this check means that nobody else is able to do the check for the rest of the day?
Yeah, it says check once per day.
Oh.
So
that seems more than fair.
So what's everyone's medicine check at?
maybe if you have an assistant.
+1. Oh yeah, have someone help you look at those.
Well, actually, that strikes me as the kind of thing that you might need training to help with. Does anybody have medicine proficiency?
I've got half proficiency. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
a
you've got
+2. Yeah, because of Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
I do have a +2, but don't forget, I mean, if somebody has guidance, or I can use one of my bardic inspirations every day.
I do have guidance now that I'm looking.
Guys, I have an over 50% chance to just make my check every time, so let's not worry about it. Let's just, good vibes, free and easy feelings. Let's just keep on about our day.
All right. Katira finally comes down.
I'm assuming Tempus and Rhodes went down first then?
Oh, yeah. I sit at the table. How busy is it right now?
About as busy as any other time you've seen it. Like, there's a few people in here, but it's never been packed.
Okay. Are we seated away from everybody else?
Not really. I don't know if you guys want to sit at this table that I put you around. That's fine. Otherwise, there's another table over in this corner that's big enough for everybody.
Yeah, I'd rather be in the table where only maybe 2 people can overhear.
I'll put you guys over here then.
So Tempus immediately tells Ysmyr that he got into a bar fight with some of Katiara's pursuers yesterday and got slightly stabbed.
Slightly stabbed?
He went down.
He has organ damage.
Tempus, why the fuck did you go downstairs when I warned you that they were there looking for you? And I tried to warn you to be ready if they came up the goddamn stairs. I wasn't inviting you down to dance.
Oh, I really didn't understand that. Sorry, Katiara.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And weren't they looking
Then-
for
then-
you, Katiara?
Pardon?
Weren't they looking for you?
No, they were looking for the big galoot that was haunting the steps of the Major Domo.
How do you know that? Because this guy
Because
wasn't.
Tempus was dogging the Major Domo. Fennel came out, talked with the Major Domo, saw Tempus, and would have remembered Tempus from the group that came in.
What? Well, I can safely say I think staying here is compromised because of both of you. Anyway, Tempest, why?
No, I think we should stay here and face our problems head on, Tempus.
I agree completely, Rhodes.
It
Unified
was
and...
sarcasm.
Oh. Well, that's petty and small of you.
You want to talk petty and small?
We're listening.
How about a big bloody git that just keeps wanting to use his forehead as a hammer against a bloody wall that's going to smash his skull?
I don't know why you'd use your forehead instead of a hammer, Katiara, but please go on.
Tempest, the metaphor is lost. Y'all see the problem here is that you're thinking that the only way to deal with the situation is to smash it head on. That is not the only way to do it.
I am just rife with anticipation for the solutions that you are all going to suggest.
How about this? You butt out of his problem.
Keep that in mind the next time I get a midnight message asking for help.
It wasn't a message for help. It was a message to warn you in case they did bum rush you upstairs. That way, at least you would have had the doorway so you could have taken them on one by one and not ended up being a pincushion from your ass.
Okay, I'm just going out on a limb here. You all can keep blaming me and being upset and going in circles and just generally avoiding your problems. Or you can start facing them. What are you gonna do about this mess you think I've gotten you in?
We're going to switch ins, for starters.
Yippee-ki-yay, other buckets. Also, Ysmyr, can I have the Daystar, please?
You'll notice Ysmyr isn't even paying attention anymore. She seems distracted. So, yeah.
Next time I get into trouble like that, if I have to, I'm going to pull out the Doomstar. If you give me an alternative, might be a little bit less collateral damage for the people around me.
What?
Yeah, she's not really paying attention to you right now, Tempest. She's got this kind of far away look in her eyes.
Ysmyr? And Rhodes will lean across the table to wave a hand in front of her face.
I'm looking at her abdomen. Do I notice any muscular spasms?
Give me an investigation check.
Can I also get in on that, but not necessarily focused on her stomach as
21.
much as it would be her general well-being?
Sure.
Hey, I'm worried about the air. So I got a 21.
I'm just being catty and not really contributing, so I'll let your guys' rules stand for me.
Here I am typing furiously and missing your wonderful rolls. KTR, you don't see any signs of spasming. Rhodes, you can see her mouth kind of moving a little bit as though she's responding to a magical sending spell in her mind, and that's what's taken her out of the moment with you guys. So she'll be right back.
Rhodes will probably move around the table, get up, move around the table so he's standing beside Ysmyr, and will likely be there once she comes back.
Oh man, have I reached my limits for puckish roguery this evening? Or do I want to go into Ysmyr's pockets and try to pull out the Daystar?
Well, I'm standing here now, so...
I mean, so's Tempus. He's worried about her. But I think I've reached my limit for puckish roguery, and he will not try to take the star yet.
She's only gone for about like 12 seconds, guys. It's just like all of a sudden she had a voice in her head, she responds to it, and then she's back.
Yeah, with all of us crowding around her.
Yeah.
Look, man, I just want to know if she's gonna like have contractions and go into labor, or if she's gonna lay eggs. So
That is really early.
that was out of character.
No, after those few seconds, she'll kind of give her head a shake and look back at everyone and just be like, that was different. I just got a sending from Yaereene.
How the hell? What?
Exactly. I think it was meant for past me, but I got it too.
Did you respond?
Yes, and I took a chance.
So you're starting to play with...
Yeah, he messaged saying, because from what I understand, this is the point where we were coming back from the Temple of the Sun to Nordgard. So he was checking in because we had been gone a while, and he was just asking if we were alive, and he asked how the trip to Daystar Lake went. So I took a chance, and I basically said, he got a Ysmyr from the future, but we'll be back soon. And I told him to look into Glithor and Elven history, and to please trust us.
Oh dear. That's going to have ramifications that we can't even begin to predict.
Yeah, kind of like when people go off and start fights for no reason.
No, I predicted the consequences of that pretty accurately, I think.
Organ damage, one of those consequences?
It was in the realm of possibility.
Okay. I think we need to table this one for a little bit, guys. We'll deal with the organ damage situation later. Let's rewind back to this Yaereene thing.
I think time's playing with the fact that there's a Ysmyr in the north and a Ysmyr in the south.
That stands to reason there's a version of all of us in the north and a version of us here in the south.
Yeah, so I'm going to take a guess, and either I'm getting the messages meant for the other me, or we're both getting them, and Yuri's going to get messages from both of us.
If you think back, were you getting messages from Yaereene when we were returning from the temple?
That is what Romy can't remember. I think so.
Now this is getting bloody odd.
Yeah, and hold on a second. Oh boy. Sorry guys, just influencing time a little bit.
Sorry, guys. I know this is slowing down the game a bit, but hopefully it adds a little bit of spice.
It's all good by me. I'm very curious to see where this goes.
Yeah, I'm kind of really puzzled how the hell you're going to screw around with the timeline.
I've got some ideas. I've had a long time to think since our last game, after all.
Sorry. I'm like, what was there that could have happened? It was a long time ago. But Ysmyr will snap back out of it. Okay, sorry. This is the thing, apparently.
Did he take the news well?
Seemed so. My mention of future Ysmyr confused him, but what's happening there right now is when the undead were going to attack from the west. So I just remember the flooding the river trap. I gave him some ideas.
That actually went pretty well as it was.
Yeah, that's where we met Rhodes.
Yeah, so I guess he didn't know about it until I said it. And then she's getting a reply again, so she holds up her hand like, 1 more minute.
Yeah, just for slight clarification there, it wasn't the flooding of the river, it was the freezing of the river. The water was there.
Right, thank you.
The undead were walking under it, and he froze the river and killed them all.
Okay, so in this moment, while we wait on Ysmyr, Tempus is going to ask Katiara if he has access to the Bard's College as being a student there, and would he have access to their archives and information and such.
Well, I honestly don't know 100% because this is after I had fled, and it's around 9 months ago that the event happened and I legged it to Nordgard. So I don't know if my dad, air quotes, kept paying tuition after that year finished. So I don't know if I'm on the roll still or not.
Okay. Where else can I go in town if I'm looking to find
Now,
out
now,
stuff and do research?
now the question is this like universities here where it's like open access to the public to go in and check books and stuff? Like they can't
Um,
sit in classes, but you can take a look through the library and sit there. You may not be able to take it out, but you definitely can sit there and read it.
the college, like the University of the Sun, is not open to the public, but there is a great library a couple doors down that is open to the public.
Okay, and
And
yeah, the big library that we all use is just a couple doors down, so you don't need to be a student to use that. You may need a library card or something. I don't know.
Grand.
and
Thanks so much.
the priest that you were talking to at the Temple of Foltus also mentioned that the Temple of Denier has a library as well.
Yeah, but I ducked out of that conversation. I don't know if the party let me know about
Oh,
Temple of Denier as an option.
right. Yeah, they were being pretty cagey about it. What with you being all Dowrethian and stuff.
Now that's just racist. Ysmyr still in a trance?
Almost done.
So I'm gonna go off to the Great Library to search for the Titans. Ysmyr, say no if you object. Okay, bye.
Oh my god.
Rose is going to glance at Katiara and go, "Do you want me to go with him or do you want to?"
I think probably be best if you went with him because right now I think all we do is like keep slapping at each other over last night.
All right, you're on midwife duty. And Rhodes is going to get up and follow after Tempus.
I just blink hard.
Even better, that Ysmyr snaps out of it right as that comes out. And she's just like, "What?
Bye, Ysmyr.
Oh boy."
Well, you heard how the conversation was going, so I think Rhodes made the right choice because I'll I'll do everything I can to help you. You know, that's that's what friends do, right?
Yeah, it's fine. We're just. I was a little zoned out when they were making decisions, but I'm just. Our whole plan yesterday was to just find a midwife so I could make sure things are okay. It's
Okay.
only going to get worse, so might as well. If anything, people might be noticing at breakfast that she's got a little food aversion right now. She's not really interested. So,
You do need to eat to keep your strength up, but I understand. Like, can you think of anything that's easier? Like a soft fruit or yogurt or like um just a little bit of bread and butter. That that.
that'll
I,
be fine. I'll grab that, go get things looked at, make sure it sounds normal, and we'll go from there.
all right. You know. Um, I'm actually kind of looking forward to having some time with you. Haven't really had a chance to talk.
You know what? That's true. No. So, should we get moving?
Well, yep. And let me. Okay, now I start casting back in my mind. Is there anything I recall? Because I was a bit of a wild child, so I might have known about uh, people taking care of childbirthing outside of the normal system. So I might know of midwifery types.
Um, yeah, generally in this city that was filled with temples and all kinds of magical people with healing powers, it was the priests that helped deliver children. Women could go to any temple for help with that sort of thing, no problem at all. And they always assured that childbirth was as painless and positive experience as possible.
So I take it that's a no.
No.
Well, let's knock about and see if there's any apothecaries or physical medical people here rather than like the spiritual types.
Honestly, just need someone to be like, nope, things sound normal, because we don't know if the Feywild messed anything up.
Yeah, and all of a sudden being in the Feywild and all that ain't gonna necessarily reassure you about stuff, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
sorry,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're still talking.
And actually, I was going to describe, and with that, for KTR, I'm being a little presumptuous here, but I link arms with her and I take her hand and pat it, and I just say, we'll get this fixed. We'll make sure you can be confident that everything's going well because it's going to be well, no matter what, right?
So I'm sure it will be. This is just we're somewhere we can start looking into this because we haven't been able to before. So let's go.
Indeed. And I usher her out the door and I start heading towards apothecaries.
Okay. So you've got a couple of options here. You do know that there are accomplished apothecaries in the magic market on the east side of town. And you have also, with your uh, bardic lore, heard of uh, shadier markets on the west side of town, close to the docks.
I would like to start with the apothecaries. I keep forgetting to hit control.
Okay. So I'm going to put individual tokens down just so somewhere. And Tempus and Rhodes were going to the Great Library. Is that right?
I believe so.
That's my plan.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I remember this. It was a problem for group 2. I had to do step by step so that you can actually see the trail of the map as you go. Because when I just dragged a token for them across the city, they didn't actually see anything in between that I tried to show them. It was super annoying. And okay. So that should have uncovered the pathway from the North Gate Inn to the Magic Market and also to the Great Library.
Yeah, no, I didn't get that.
Oh, it didn't show up for you?
No, I don't think I see it either.
Nuts. Never mind. I'll just reveal the whole map. It doesn't matter. There's no secrets on it or anything. There. Now you should be able to see everything.
Yep.
Anyway, I am going to need some time to prep for the next session, figuring out what Tempus is going to be able to find at the Great Library, and also think about this whole midwife situation and apothecary. So I'm going to call the game here for the night, and we'll carry on with the party split up for next time.
I'm definitely not going to start a fight with some librarians just so I can win.
Definitely.
Bro, they don't get paid enough for that. Don't punch the librarian.
Oh, Tempus. Oh, Tempus.